7:13 a.m. 2 police cruisers in my driveway. Lights flashing red and blue against the siding of the workshop I built with my own 2 hands. The lead officer's hand is resting near his belt. The universal signal that this could go bad fast. I'm standing there, coffee mug in hand, the one with the Army Corps of Engineers logo, staring at 2 men who think I might be a criminal, and 40 feet back, arms crossed, lips curling into that smug little smirk, stands her, the queen of the cul-de-sac, the HOA president, the self-appointed ruler of Pinewood Estates. 4 hours earlier, she called 911 and told them a dangerous armed squatter had taken over a property, my property, the land I bought, paid for, and held the deed to. The morning air smelled like fresh-cut grass, and the kind of desperation that wears designer sunglasses. What would you do if someone tried to get you arrested on your own land? My name's Garrett Hollins, 54, divorced, 2 kids, 1 in college, 1 in med school, 20 years with the Army Corps of Engineers before I started a civil consultancy here in Oklahoma. I'm not the kind of guy who goes looking for fights. I've seen enough of them overseas. All I wanted was a quiet place, 3.2 acres where I could build a workshop, turn the detached garage into a machine shop, and have a space my kids could visit without stepping into their mum's new world. The land was perfect. A 150-year-old oak out front creaking like an old ship in the wind. The air inside the workshop smelled of sawdust and motor oil. Sunlight glinting off little shavings of aluminum scattered like glitter across the workbench. I did my homework before buying, surveyed every inch, confirmed I was outside the Pinewood Estates HOA. I'd heard the horror stories, people fined for mailbox colours, lawn lengths, even kids' chalk drawings. I was safe, or so I thought. 6 months after I moved in, the HOA quietly redrew its boundaries, filed it with the county. No notice, no certified letter, no hearing. Suddenly, my land was inside their jurisdiction. That's how I met Deborah Kingston, the HOA president, real estate agent, and suburban tyrant in pastel armor. Picture this: sharp blazer, sharper tongue, and an attitude that could strip paint off a pickup. She showed up on day 1 with a clipboard, snapping photos of my property like she was building a criminal case. Week 1, I get a letter, $2,500 fine for an unapproved structure. My garage. The same garage that had been standing there before Pinewood Estates even existed. I emailed back my survey, my deed, and a legal note from a paralegal friend. "I'm not in your HOA," I wrote. "Please remove me from your records." Week 3, she shows up again. Sunglasses, clipboard, threats. Week 5, another letter. This time $5,000 and daily penalties. She warned me about foreclosure proceedings. I've dealt with insurgents who negotiated in better faith. That's when she went nuclear. Filed a police report. Said I was trespassing on common property. Said I'd verbally threatened her. And that's how I ended up staring down 2 squad cars before sunrise. The lead cop, Sergeant Pacheco, looked like a man who'd seen it all. His partner, younger, jumpier. I stayed calm, coffee in one hand, palms visible. "Morning, officers," I said. "Let me guess, HOA called this in?" He nodded. "We got a report of trespass and threats. Your side?" I told him. "Sure, but before I say anything, let me show you something." I went inside, slow and deliberate, announced every move, came back with a folder thick with proof, survey, deed, title, insurance, and a screenshot from my security cam showing her trespassing on my property weeks ago. He laid the papers across the cruiser's hood, flipping through each one carefully. The metal was cool, the sound of paper sharp and precise. Finally, he turned toward her. "Ma'am," he said, "this is a civil matter, not criminal trespass. You'll need to handle this through the courts." Her face cracked. She sputtered something about taxpayer dollars and upholding community standards, but he cut her off. "Ma'am, I don't enforce HOA bylaws." She stormed off. Tires screeched. The smell of burnt rubber lingered like her pride. Pacheco handed me his card. "Off the record," he said. "Document everything. These things can get ugly fast." That was the moment I realized. This wasn't about rules. This was about control. I called a friend, an attorney named Lucia Brenner. Sharp as they come. She took one look at my paperwork and said, "Garrett, this isn't just wrong. It's fraud." Turns out Deborah had done this before. A young couple fined for a swing set. An elderly widow threatened with foreclosure over a $400 late fee that ballooned to $12,000. It wasn't about keeping the neighborhood nice. It was about draining it dry. Lucia filed a cease and desist, sent a formal complaint to the county, and uncovered something big. The HOA's boundary amendment was void. No notice means no authority. We thought that would end it. It didn't. She doubled down. Inspectors started showing up every week. Orange violation stickers appeared on my truck and garage. I found one of her agents standing on my trash can, trying to photograph over my fence. So I went into engineer mode. Cameras, logs, documentation. Every interaction, time-stamped and backed up to the cloud. And when Lucia subpoenaed their records, things got interesting. $140,000 missing from the HOA's books. Payments to Deborah's LLC for property management services. Even though the HOA already paid a management company, this wasn't petty bureaucracy anymore. It was organized theft. We held a secret meeting at a neighbor's house. 11 families. Each one had a horror story. Fines, liens, foreclosure threats. Lucia listened, took notes, and finally said, "If this is real, this isn't civil law anymore. This is criminal. Maybe even RICO." That word hit the room like a thunderclap. Racketeering. In a suburban HOA, we filed a counterclaim. Federal fraud allegations, abuse of process, wire fraud, mail fraud, the works. And then something incredible happened. The HOA itself went into foreclosure. Turns out they defaulted on a $1.2 million construction loan. The same entity that tried to bankrupt me was now bankrupt itself. When I read the notice, something clicked. If I bought that property, I could legally take control of the HOA and end the madness for everyone. Lucia double-checked the plan. It was risky but sound. I wired the deposit, prepped the documents, and told Ruben, "I'm not just defending myself anymore. I'm ending this." The morning of the auction, Deborah showed up at my porch. "No makeup, no armor. Just fear, please," she said. "Don't buy it. I'll resign. We'll drop everything. Just don't." I looked her in the eye. "You should have thought about that before you turned this neighborhood into your personal ATM." By 8 a.m., the courthouse steps smelled faintly of rain and justice. The auctioneer started the bid, opening at $850. I raised my hand. $875. Silence. No one else bid. Going once. Going twice. From the crowd, she shouted, "This is illegal. He's not even in the HOA." The auctioneer didn't blink. "Ma'am, this is a public auction." The gavel dropped. Sold. Just like that, I became the legal owner of the Pinewood Estates HOA. Lucia handled the filings. The liens vanished. The fines were voided. And for the first time in 6 months, I slept a full night. The next weekend, we held a barbecue under the oak tree. Families brought dishes. Kids played in the yard. And the air felt lighter. Ruben raised a beer and said, "You know what her problem was, Garrett?" "HOA president syndrome," I laughed. "Nah. She had yacht club energy in a kiddie pool subdivision." We both cracked up. Then I said, "You know what the real truth is, Ruben? Every villain thinks they're the hero." He nodded, looking out at the street that used to be tense and fearful, now peaceful. "Yeah," he said, "every single one. If you've ever been bullied by bureaucracy, blindsided by red tape, or burned by some HOA tyrant, this story's for you. Because sometimes the only way to win is to outsmart the system." Drop a comment below. Have you ever had an HOA nightmare? And where are you watching from?